Okay, the live stream has begun, I believe. Let me just check it once again. Right, yes. So, students, can I ask you some questions? I want some students to come forward and answer the questions. So, the first question, what is relative addressing and what is absolute addressing? Do you want me to write it down? Students, I need answers. Please don't be quiet. Okay, what is a text file and a binary file? So, two questions so far. Anyone can volunteer, please. It won't be a problem even if you make a mistake. Okay, Pranshu Goyal, go ahead.
So relative addressing is when you specify an address relative to another address, like its distance from another address.
Okay,
And
so can
absolute
you be
is
a
when
bit
you
more
specify
specific?
this.
Where have you learned it and what have we discussed on about it?
Sir, I'm not that confident about this answer. I just know the basic that, like, let's say there's a pointer P
Okay,
that is pointing to an address,
okay.
uh,
Let
and
us
there is
say a pointer P pointing to an address. Yeah. Okay.
now if that pointer stores the actual location, that means
Okay.
actual location of that variable, then it is absolute addressing. And there is another.
Pranshu, this answer, initially when you started, it was on the right track, but what you have told me right now is wrong. Can somebody else try? Or Pranshu, if you want, you can try it once again. So, relative is what you said at first is correct. Relative is a mode of addressing relative to a particular location, correct? That is what you mentioned, so that is correct. Okay, but what you said about the pointers, right, is incorrect. Say you mentioned about pointers, correct, Pranshu?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is incorrect. Anybody else who wants to give it a try?
So relative addressing is that Pranshu said, and
Okay.
absolute addressing is like indicating the direct path, I think, direct location.
Okay, so where did, okay, I think right now what Abhishek Kumar Mohanty is saying that it is about location, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and do you know why I have asked this question? Because we have learned about file input output in the previous class. I just wanted to give you a quick recap about what are the things that we have to remember. Okay, so yes, so now coming back to relative and uh, absolute addressing, let me show you something so clear. So I'm going to okay, I'm going to the 2021 folder. Okay, so okay, let me not do it that way because it might confuse you. Okay, so right now I am in /home/anu. Okay, so that is the directory structure, right? So there, okay, if I do cd space slash and I do pwd, it says that I am in the directory slash. Okay, and if I want to go one step ahead, or see, like let me show you one more thing before okay, so on the Google, right, I have searched for Unix directory structure, or else I can search for Linux directory structure. Okay, so that tells you about the file system hierarchy standard. Okay, and it says that Linux directory structure is something like this. Okay, so now let us take a look at what it is. Okay, so you know, this is very important for you to understand what is how do you work with files. Okay, say for example, on Linux computer, the first okay, everything is just files and folders. Okay, everything is files and folders on a Linux kernel. Okay, and the slash, or called the root, is the root folder. Okay, and everything else is inside the root folder. Say for example, there can be slash home for home directories, slash user for user programs, slash temp for temporary files, slash var for variable files, slash proc for process information, slash dev for device files, slash etc for configuration files, slash sbin for system binaries, slash bin for user binaries, and slash media for removable drives, slash srv for service data, and so on, right? And if you look at it, you can see that slash, okay, the first one is called the root folder. Okay, that's called the slash or the root. Okay, it's called the root, it's not called the root folder, it's called the root. Now there can be another one called slash root. Okay, that is slash root, that I have just highlighted over here. Now, so slash and slash root are not the same, because slash root is the root user's home directory. That is a different concept. But understand about the file system hierarchy, slash is called the root folder. Okay, it's not the root's home directory, but it is the root folder, which is slash. So if I switch back to the terminal and I do a clear, let me do a clear here. Okay, and I do a pwd, it says that right now I am in the slash folder. I do an ls here, it says that when I do ls, which means that if I list the contents that are in the slash folder, there is bin, home, lib32, media, root, srv, var, boot, mnt, run, sys, dev, opt, etc, loss plus found, proc, snap, user. So you can see that pretty much whatever we have actually mentioned, or whatever we have seen in the directory structures, right, is pretty much there. Okay, let us now go back one place, and let me show you this once again. Okay, so yeah, so I just wanted to show you the Unix directory structure also, which I had searched for. So this is from an academic website. Okay, so this says that in Unix also you have something similar. So it has the root folder, which is actually the slash, correct? And then you have the bin, dev, etc, home, lib, var, vol, temp, okay, and all of these things. So the ls, right, is a file that is getting executed. It's a binary executable file. So now, so that is about the slash or the root folder. Now in the root folder, you can see that there is a home folder. So I go into home folder. So over here, to go into the home folder, I type the command cd space home. Okay, and now I do again pwd. It says that I am in slash home. Earlier I was in just slash. Now after doing the cd home, I am in slash home. Now I do an ls here. It says that there are two directories in this one, which are, one is named Anoop and one is called Linux Brew. So I have to go into the Anoop folder. Okay, so let me go into the Anoop folder. So Anoop is my name, and once I went to the Anoop folder, right, it was showing you slash home here, and it was showing you slash here, and now it is showing me a special character, and this is called tilde. Okay, this character that is shown over here, right, it's called tilde, this tilde. Okay, so tilde also stands for the current user's home directory, and the current user is Anoop. Okay, so Anoop has logged in to the computer which is named as Anoop-IIITT. Okay, so Anoop has logged in to the computer called Anoop-IIITT. That's a Linux specific thing that you have to just understand for the time being. But mainly you need to understand that Anoop is a username of the user who has logged in into this computer, and the moment I go into /home/Anoop, that is the root or that is the home directory for the user Anoop. So which means that it is also specified by a special character called tilde. Okay, now that is not really important to know that it is denoted by a special character called tilde. But the major thing is, right now I am in the directory called /home/Anoop, and I do an ls here. It tells me that okay, there are like different files that are available there, right? Okay, now I do cd lab, okay, because I know that there is a directory called lab, okay, and then I do ls again in there. Okay, I can see that there are a lot of .c files and things related to the .c files. Okay, now what I can do is I can type pwd, and you can see that I have gone into the directory /home/Anoop/lab. Okay, and now I know that there is a folder called 2021 in that. Okay, because remember when I typed J2021, that was a shortcut program that I use. It won't be available on your Linux computer by default. Okay, so it won't, the J2021 will not work on your computer. It's a specific program that I have installed on my computer, and that actually lets me browse to the folders or go to the folders easily without actually typing the entire folder name. So right now I have done cd space 2021 and I type pwd, and you can see I've gone into /home/Anoop/lab/2021. Now if I do an ls and let's say that there is a test.py or let's say that there is a addition.c, okay, or let's say there is an Armstrong.c. Okay, let's take the Armstrong.c. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I take another terminal window. Okay, in the home folder I create another directory. Let's say I call it as let's say I call it as Armstrong compile. So I'm just saying that I go into Armstrong compile, okay, and I do ls, okay, and pwd. So when I did ls, it did not list anything in that folder because it's a newly created folder, and I did pwd. It said that I am in the folder /home/Anoop/Armstrong_compile. Okay, and I know that there is another folder, so I switched from this terminal to another terminal. Okay, and then I type and I know that there is Armstrong .c over here. Okay, I know that there is Armstrong.c in the folder home Anoop lab 2021. Now how can I compile it? If I compile it from this particular directory Armstrong_compile, can someone tell me how can I compile it? Students?
Sir, can you repeat it, sir, please, sir?
Okay, so the question is, I have a particular file called Armstrong.c, okay, in the folder /home/Anoop/lab/2021, and I'm saying I have created another folder called Armstrong_compile, which is in /home/Anoop/Armstrong_compile. Now I want to compile the Armstrong program and store the compiled output here and run it from here. Can someone tell me how can I do it? Say, can I try Armstrong.c -o Armstrong.out? It will tell me GCC error Armstrong.c, no such
Yes, sir,
file or
because
directory. GCC fatal error, no
Because
input files.
that the location is not there in which that Armstrong.c was stored, sir.
Correct. Who is speaking?
Sir, Abhishek, sir.
Abhishek Kumar Mohandi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So Abhishek, can you tell me how can I compile it now from here? So when I tried to compile it, right, it said that there is no such file. So now there are two ways I can compile this file. Okay, let me show you the two ways. The first way I am going to do is by absolute addressing. Okay, so let me just try that. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am typing /home /Anoop /lab /2021 /Armstrong.c, because I know that this is where this particular file is present, correct?
Yes, sir, its location.
Yes. Now would it work? Technically it should, right, because we have specified the location of the input file. Now let me do it. Wow, it worked. Now I have a question. Where does the Armstrong.out get saved?
Sir, it got saved in that Armstrong.compile, I think.
Yeah, Armstrong_compile, because I have specified a relative address over here and I have specified an absolute address for the C file, and I do an ls now. You can see that the Armstrong.out has been created in the Armstrong_compile folder, correct? Now let us try to run it, see whether it works. Armstrong.out, right? .out. So let's try 153. Yes, it works. Okay, I do ls and I do rm Armstrong.out, which means that I just deleted that particular file. That compiled binary file is no longer there in the folder there. Okay, I think somebody is probably messaging. Just a second. Yeah. Okay, Prajwal Venkatesh Sindekar. Okay, what did you mention by yes sir getting? Do you remember what we have discussed in the previous class regarding the files? So this is just a quick recap about so what is the question that I asked? What is the relative addressing and what is absolute addressing? So I think somebody mentioned earlier that it is about the mode of addressing relative to a particular location. Now let us take a look at that. So I told you when I tried to compile the program earlier from this folder Armstrong_compile, okay, I give the complete path, and that complete path to a particular resource is called the absolute address. Okay, that is the absolute address. Now how can I use relative addressing over here if I want to? Can someone tell me? So yeah, so this is the command that we used. Let me remove that file again, and let me also show you another input. So let's say I do pwd and I tell you that we are in the folder home Anoop Armstrong compile. Okay, so let me try that. GCC, okay, 2 dots. So what is 2 dots? That is something that you don't know yet, right? So I do cd space 2 dots and I do pwd. It has taken me, so when I was in the Armstrong_compile directory, I typed cd space 2 dots and it took me one directory above. What does that mean? It took me to the parent directory. What does that mean again? Because okay, so this is like, say, let us say you are in the home directory right now. Now if you type cd space 2 dots at the when you are at the home directory, it will take you to the root directory. Or let us say you are in the John's directory, okay, and you do cd space 2 dots, it will take you to the sales directory, and then again you do cd space 2 dots, it will take you to the wall directory, and again if you do cd space 2 dots at the wall directory, it will take you to the root directory. So let us try that, what is happening. So I am trying to do cd space 2 dots again. It has taken me to the home directory. Again I do cd space 2 dots. It has taken me to the slash directory, right? Do you all agree with what I am showing, students?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Please be attentive, okay, because this is very important, and trust me, this is something that you are going to use it forever in your life. Be it web technology, web programming, be it Python programming, be it with clusters, be it with multi-threading, whatever you come across, this is one of the most fundamental things that you have to learn. Okay, so right now I used cd space 2 dots and it took me to the parent directory, so which means that it took me one time from Armstrong compile to home Anoop, then it took me again to slash home, and then it took me to slash. Now let me go back to, okay, I can type say j space g underscore com. So Armstrong compile, so I'm just typing g underscore com. I'm just being lazy to tell you that it can directly take me to, this is a plugin that I've installed which will take me directly to back to the directory where I want to. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is I'm doing cd space 2 dots slash 2 dots slash 2 dots. What would happen if I do it this way? It would
So it will.
take me one directory up, then again one directory up, and then again one directory up, directly taking me to slash. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I can also type cd space minus. That is something that will let you go back to one directory in history. Okay, which means that it took me back to Armstrong compile. Just that much. Okay. Now pwd, I am here in Armstrong compile. I do ls. There is nothing in that folder. I do gcc. Okay. How do I use relative addressing here? This one that I am going to highlight right now, which is slash home slash Anoop slash lab slash 2021 slash Armstrong.c, is called an absolute address. Now how can I mention the relative address here? So for that, what I will do is I will do dot slash lab slash 2021 slash Armstrong.c space minus o space Armstrong.out. Would this work? Students?
Yes, sir. I think.
And why would it work? Because I am right now in the folder home Anoop Armstrong compile, and I know that the file that I want to compile is in home Anoop lab 2021 Armstrong.c. So which means that if I have to use the relative address, I have to use gcc space, I have to go back first to slash home slash Anoop and then go to lab, then 2021, and then in there is Armstrong.c. Let us try whether this would work. Yes, it works. And let us to do ls. Yes, it has produced the output, and when we want to run it, it takes the input correctly. If I try 154, it should say no. Yeah, it's not an Armstrong number. All right. So now, what is relative addressing and what is absolute addressing? Absolute addressing is when we specify the complete address of a particular resource that we want to access. Okay, and the resource can be a file. Okay, it can be a file that we want to open. Okay, so let me show you. File example 1.c, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, file example 1.c. Remember this particular file which we had used the last day? I had mentioned about absolute addressing and relative addressing over there. Okay. And when I asked this question today, none of you remembers that clearly, right? So what does that tell you? It tells you that you have to, be more attentive, and you have to go through the concepts that are actually discussed in the class very clearly. Okay, so I hope relative addressing and absolute addressing concept is clear now. Is that so, students? Can I assume
Yes.
that it is very clear? Can someone please tell me relative and absolute addressing once again?
Yes, relative addressing is relating the absolute address, means the complete location, with another address that we have just entered now.
Yes, Correct, you are right over there. Okay, which means that you must be working, you must be in one particular location, you must be in one particular directory, and you want to do or access a particular file, and you use a relative address with respect to the particular location where you are right now, and that is relative addressing. Absolute addressing means that no matter where you are, in which directory you are, if you use the complete path to a particular file or a particular folder, then that is absolute addressing. Let me also show you one more example which you may find it interesting. So let me close both these things, and I am going to iitt.ac.in, our institute website. Okay, and I am going to go to the about IIIT, and I am going to see in the about page that there is a logo that is given here. Okay, now if I right click on this logo and I copy the image address and I paste the image address, it will take me to http://iitit.ac.in/images/iitt-logo.png. okay, this file. Now I am going back to the actual page iitt.ac.in/home, about. Okay, so I went back, I switched back to the tab, and what I am going to do is I am going to right click on this HTML page. So this is a web page, right? This is a web page that you see on a web browser. Do you all agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. So in here what I am going to do is I am going to right click on this page and I am going to click on view page source. Okay, and I know that the file name is iitt-logo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Ctrl F, which is just search in the view source. So what I did is, okay, let me show you that once again. I went to iitt.ac.in/about page. I right clicked on that page and clicked on view page source in my Chrome browser. Okay, now view page source will help me view the HTML code that has created this particular website, right? How many of you have heard of HTML or something like that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we have heard.
Yeah, okay, some students have mentioned they have heard about HTML. That is good. So which means that I am going to right click on this page. Okay, if you can do it along with me, okay, when I am trying that out. So I am going to right click on the page and click on view page source. So it has opened another tab, okay, saying view the source of this particular page about. In this page what I am going to do is I am going to press Ctrl F on my keyboard. That has opened up a search bar, and over there I am going to type iitt-logo.png, and you can see that in the HTML code, right, where the actual file name is written, you can see that what is written is what? Is it a relative address or is it an absolute address? Students?
Sir, which one, sir?
So over here, right, in here src is equal to, in double quotes they have written let's say images/iitt-logo.png. so that is the image that is shown here, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so if I hover over it, right, I think no, it won't show it. Yeah, so the question is, what kind of addressing is being used here?
So it's kind of relative because its complete location is not given.
Correct. It is a relative address. It is a relative address. Okay, because the complete location is not given. Now, if I hover over it on the bottom left of my screen, you can see it is showing iitt.ac.in/images/iitt-logo.png, and that is the complete resource URL, or that is the absolute addressing, and what you see here is the relative address. So whatever it is mentioned over here is the relative address. and this is the absolute address. Okay, so I think that is pretty much clear, and I hope you now understand why I told you that you have to learn relative addressing and absolute addressing, because it is going to be useful for you and in throughout your life. Okay, so the same thing can be useful if, let's say, Windows directory structure. So I just typed for Windows directory structure and I am looking for images. Okay, so you can see that instead of just one so let's say this was something similar to the Unix directory structure. Okay, but in Windows it has multiple drives, A drive, C drive, D drive, and so on. That is the only difference. Okay, so in Linux or in a Unix system, you have a /root. Slash is called the root folder. Okay, and then you have the folders in that. So relative addressing is essentially the same both in Windows as well as Linux. The only thing would be how you write the path. So what is a path? Path means the URL. What is URL? What did I say? URL. Can someone please search and tell me what is
Uniform
URL?
resource location.
Correct, it is uniform resource locator. So understand that these are all certain things that are pretty much common these days, right? So for example, if somebody says that, okay, tomorrow I am going to live cast the foundation stone laying ceremony. Now you will ask the question, what is the link or what is the URL to see that, right? So I have sent you a particular message today on the Google chat, and what is that? It is the URL to our today's YouTube live stream, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Now again, so I mentioned that we used the complete URL to specify the location of this particular file, which is an image file. Okay, and over here what we have used is, if I press Ctrl L, it will, oh wait, will it show me the entire thing, or I think copy image address, would it also show me the, yeah, it has to show me the protocol also. See, because it is http://iitit.ac.in/images/iitt-logo.png. So here the protocol is HTTP. Now in case you were trying to access a particular file, let us say file://home/anoop/lab/2021/ let us say, okay, I just type 2021. You can see that it has now listed all the contents in that directory, correct? From my web browser. So over here I have typed file:// and the reason why I typed it, I have to mention that I am looking for a file that is present in the directory structure. Okay, and I am not using a HTTPS or a HTTP connection as in over a internet, like how I showed you when I showed you the IIIT logo. Alright, so is that kind of something that you can understand and appreciate right now, that about the relative address and the absolute address?
Yes.
Alright, now what is the next question? What is a text file and a binary file? Or I will ask you the question in a different way. What is the difference between a text file and a binary file? Remember, I showed you this in the last class. Can someone please tell me what?
So text
Text
file is
file
ready to
contains
save
the-
Okay, one person at a time. Okay. Yeah, Kaushik, Hitanshu, go ahead.
Sir, text file means can be readable by a human, and binary file is not readable by a human.
Correct. So text file is readable by humans, but binary file is not readable by humans, which means that it is storing the data in binary format. Of course, the text file is also internally storing it in binary format. Do you all agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's how the
Yes,
computer reads.
because
Yes, sir.
everything that a computer represents is in zeros and ones, correct? So which means that a computer is going to represent anything and everything in binary in your computer, but still a text file is different. A text file is readable by the human beings, which means that if you use the correct software to open that file, okay, you will be able to see what is written in there in alphabets, okay, because you have typed maybe human readable characters and you have saved that human readable characters into a text file, into a file, okay. So a text file, a simple text file means that it is a human readable file, okay, which means if you type, let's say I think we had a, yeah, let me exit from this folder, or let me go back and delete the folder rm-rf space Armstrong underscore compile. So that will remove the folder and the files that are present in there. Now I go back to 2021, I do file star, okay, I can see that there is something called file example underscore text.txt. Now I do cat space file, okay, file example1, oh, example underscore test.txt. You can see that it prints, just a second guys, yeah, you can see that it has printed the content of the file, okay. Now there is another file example1.c. so I am going to print what is the content in that one. Yes, that is also a text file, okay, although it is a C source code, it is also a text file. Now there is another file that is over here which is called file example1, and what is that? It is shown in green color. That is the output of our compiled that is the compiled program of the file example1.c file. So if I do cat space file example1, let's say, yeah, example1 not with .c, so I mean to say that I am going to print what is there in this file. If I do cat space doing that, it has actually printed so many things, okay, that is something which I can't read completely. I can't read and understand what exactly this is, alright. Of course, there are some characters which are readable, but it doesn't really make sense, correct? And this is called a binary file. Binary means the content is stored in binary format completely, and it may not have enough characters which are human readable, okay. Now let us go back to what we have been doing. Say I will show you, I will take you to the C tutorial. Let me reload the tab so as to avoid advertisements, and let us go to file input output, okay. I am making the window bigger, okay, and you can see that in when you work with files, okay, you can open a file using the fopen function. The fopen function takes two parameters. The first parameter is the file name, so you can specify either the relative path or the absolute path of the file that you want to open. So that is, you can open a file using the function fopen, okay, and this is the signature of the function fopen. It takes two parameters. First parameter that it takes is the file name, okay. It says it's a constant character pointer, so it's a character pointer, meaning that we are passing the reference to a one dimensional array, which is actually a string. So you have to pass the file name as string, and the file name can be either in absolute addressing or it can be in relative addressing. And the next thing that you do is you have to pass in which mode do you want to open the file. What do you mean by mode? Now,
Sir, whether to read or write or
append, yes, correct. Read, write and append. Do you guys remember what it is and what is the concept of you know what is the concept of third one? What is cursor? Can someone tell me what is a cursor? We have used cursor in in the earlier class. I've mentioned this particular usage multiple times when I was explaining to you about read, write and append. Do you remember I told you about I will read 10 characters from where my cursor is right now? Do you remember that? Okay, I don't think you do remember that. Okay, over here I'm going to just do clear. Let's do an ls star.txt. Okay, that's something like that. Okay, ls star.org, something like that. Ls star.org in here. Yes, there is gedit 2021. Students, don't be so silent when I ask you a question that is very dangerous. Okay, it tells me that you have not understood anything. Okay, so I have just opened a file over here. Okay, so over here, can you tell me where is my cursor? Is my cursor visible somewhere?
First line, sir.
First line, correct? It is at the first line. So which means that if I want to read this file, the cursor has to be at the start of the file. Okay, so from the start of the file I can start reading. Okay, so I can read maybe first 10 characters. I am not counting the number of characters, but I am saying that I read the first 10 characters, then the next 10 characters, okay, and then the next 10 characters, okay, or the next n characters, and then again the next n characters, and so on. So where is my cursor right now?
So in the second line.
Second line.
Second line, where I have written Pentium 3, right? Just after 3 you have the cursor which is blinking, right?
Yes.
Right. Now why is the cursor important here? Because the cursor is the pointer that you will use when you open a particular file. Okay, when you are going to read a particular file, you will place the cursor at the top of the file, and when you are going to write to a file, what happens? When you write to a file, always it will create a new file. Otherwise you have, and then it will start writing from the top of the file, from the first line. But what is the next operation, or what is the next operation? It is called append. And if I have to append to a file, it means that where would be the cursor kept? Can someone tell me?
At the end of file.
At the end of the file. Yes, correct. So it will be kept at this location, correct? It will be kept at the end of the file, at the last location. It can have multiple empty lines, it can have anything. So after all of those things, this is where the cursor would be blinking, at the bottom left, where you can see where I have hovered my mouse pointer. Okay, so this is where you append, correct? Right. Now going back again, so you can open a file using the function fopen, and you pass two parameters. One is the file name, either in relative or either in absolute address, and then you pass the mode in which you want to open that file. What are the different modes that are available? The different modes that are available are read, write, that is R, okay, R, W, read, write, and append. And then you have R plus, which will open a text file for both reading and writing. Then you have a W plus, which opens a text file for both reading and writing. It first truncates the file to 0 length if it exists. Otherwise, it creates a file if it does not exist. So I told you, right, whenever you are going to do writing operation, you are going to overwrite the file. Okay, you will delete the existing file. And the next one is A plus, which is open a text file both for reading and writing, and it creates the file if it does not exist, and the reading will start from the beginning, but the writing can only be appended. Okay, so these are the 6 modes for text file operations. These are the 6 modes, 6 modes for text file operations. And there are other modes, and these modes are related to the binary file operation. Binary file means that we are going to deal with some files which are not human readable. What does that mean? Which means that it can be created using some C program as well, and I could be storing some data that the user has entered as well, but which is not stored in human readable form, because I may have used a structure, or I may have used an array, and I may have put the content of that into the file. Okay, which means that I need to use another C program to read that file and understand what I have put in that file. Alright, so that is with fopen. So you open a file with fopen by passing 2 parameters, file name and the mode of operation, and it will return you a file pointer. So it will return you a file pointer, which means that using that pointer you will be able to refer to the file that has been opened. Okay, and the file pointer also kind of represents where your cursor is at a particular position. Okay, now how do you close a file which is opened? Say for example, if I show you this particular file, right? I have opened a file called 2021-december.org, which is in the folder /home/anoop/lab. Okay, and that is what I am showing you over here. Now what I am going to do is, how do I close this file? If I have to close this file in my text editor, all I have to do is click on the close button. Correct? I have to click on the close button. I have 2 options: close without saving, save and cancel. I will close it without saving. Okay, so I closed a file which I have opened by double clicking, by closing the window. Okay, now when it comes to computer programming, again C programming, you have to open a file, but you cannot leave an open file open forever. You have to close that resource when you are done with operating that file. And how do you do that? You use the file pointer, okay, that is returned by fopen, and pass it to the function fclose. Correct? So the fclose function takes the file pointer and closes the file that is referred to by the file pointer that is being passed. So the fclose function will return 0 on success and end of file. So it will otherwise return something called an EOF, and the EOF, right, is a constant that is defined in the header file stdio.h. Okay, so what happens when you do fclose? It is written, this function actually flushes any data still pending in the buffer to the file, closes the file and releases any memory used for the file. What does that mean? It says, read it along with me once again, the function actually flushes. That means it removes every data that is available there in the buffer, okay, and closes the file, buffer to the file and closes the file and releases any memory used for the file. Okay, so when you have opened a C, a file from your C program, what it has done is, if you want to read it, I told you we will be reading 10 characters or 20 characters or 50 characters at one time. Okay, and that is based on what? That is based on a concept called, what is it? I have just highlighted my text right now.
Buffers.
Yes, it is called buffer. Do you remember what a buffer is? I have given you an example also. Say you want to okay, let me tell you, you have a pond. Okay, you have a pond means what? What do you call it, a pond in Hindi, students?
तालाब
Huh?
तालाब
Talab. Pond in, just a second, in Hindi.
Sir, saying lake would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
more.
talab. Okay, lake. So I just got it here in Google. Okay, so that's what I was doing. So pond, it's called talab. Okay, so this is what a pond is, right? Now imagine this pond getting dirty, and you have to clean this pond. What is it that you have to do? You have to empty the pond, meaning that you have to remove all the water that is there in the pond. And how do you do that?
Sir, by removing the dirt or by cleaning.
By removing? Oh,
Sir, first we'll have to pump out the
you
water.
need some equipment, right, to do that. You need some mug or a bucket to take the water out from the pond, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah. So let us say that you have a mug or a bucket with you to empty the pond. Now, how do you do that? You will first fill the bucket completely, take that water and pour it somewhere else. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Or let us say you have two ponds and you want to transfer the water from pond 1 to pond 2, and you have a bucket with you. So you will fetch the water in the bucket from the pond 1, right? Put it into the pond 2, and you keep doing it until the water in the pond 1 completely empties. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. And this bucket over here is your constraint, which means that if your bucket is 50 liters, or let us say the bucket is 20 liters, okay, so if it is 20 liters, it means that you can only take as much as 20 liters of water at one time. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Now I have to ask you another question. Let us say you want to send some content, okay, from your place to your friend's place. So you want to send some content. It can be a big book, but I am telling you that you can only send one page at a time. Now how can you send the entire book?
Sir, by storing it in a PDF, sir.
Okay, I am saying again. Okay, I'm okay. Let us say that we are not discussing about anything related to computers at this point. No computers. Okay, I have a book which is handwritten, which is a very huge book, and I want to now send it across to my friend who lives in another city. But the problem is
I might have
that
to use some delivery service.
I can use some delivery service. Maybe what I need to do is I need to copy the content of the page 1 into a page, write it down, right, and send it. And once that is sent, now I will take the second page and so on. And your friend is going to get multiple mails, not emails, but multiple postal mails. If there are 1000 pages to your book, then your friend might get 1000 pages or 1000 mails. And what is your friend going to do? He will have to arrange the pages in the order, and he has the new book. Would that be a good example, students? Okay, the reason why I told you is there is something called buffer. So let us just take a look at buffer. What is buffer? Okay, so let's take a look at buffer. So you know, when you are using that's a very good example, good that I searched. So when you are using YouTube, or when you are watching a video on the internet, right, sometimes have you seen your this particular image showing up on your screen, that it's loading, it is not playing the video, but it is loading. Yes? No?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And what does that mean? It means that it is actually loading part of your video from the YouTube website. Okay, so it has loaded some content, and when the next 5 seconds or next 10 seconds have been loaded, it will start playing for you. Okay, and After the next 20 seconds is over, it will again buffer it, or it will prefetch it into the buffer. So your buffer is where the content from the YouTube comes first and then it is shown to you. Okay, so depending on the buffer size, say for example, let me now just go to this particular, oh wait, do you have a class right now, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll just
It
show
was in
you.
11:50, sir.
It's at 11:50. Okay, I'll just show you one more thing and I'll be out. So over here I'm just opening up the 11:50. Okay, I'll just show you one more thing and I'll YouTube live stream, and I'm going to right click on this YouTube live stream and I click on stats for nerds, and you can see that it says about buffer health, live latency, network activity, connection speed, correct? So it says that I have buffered for 5.3 seconds, 4.8 seconds. So if I am able to fill my buffer faster and faster, my goodness, this is too much report. Okay, so the idea is that the content is fetched from the YouTube server, stored in my computer for a while, and then shown to me. And when it is shown to me, it will go and get more content from the YouTube server. Okay, so that is buffering. So why did I tell you about buffering? The reason why I told you about buffering is, we have already seen writing a file, okay, but we have to understand about reading a file, and reading a file, buffer is one of the most important things. Okay, so far we have learned about what? Relative addressing, absolute addressing, text file, binary file, cursor, and then what? Buffer, correct? And then what? fopen, fclose, file pointer, okay, and the modes of opening a file and closing a file, and we have already seen writing a file in the previous class. Let us continue in the next class, okay? And since we have very few portions left for this particular semester, I am taking more time to explain the things to you, and I can actually come back and explain any concept that you want me to explain to you again. You can actually tell me that as well, or based on the importance of the topics, I will also explain it to you. Thank you guys. Let us meet in the next class. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, Sunny Kumar says, but binary files are more secure as compared to text files. That is correct, Sunny Kumar. And Yesh Khaitan said, text file contains information in the form of alphabets, numbers, symbols, characters. Correct. Whereas binary file is compiled version of text file, for example .exe, .class file, and etc., and is not human readable. That is a very good description, Yesh Khaitan. Thank you. So look at all these things. Thank you, students. Let's meet in the next class. Bye.
Bye.